What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country in Washington, D.C., and everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. Right now, it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. You guys are awesome. We have a lot to talk about here today. There is a temporary ceasefire in Ukraine. We'll go over what this means. Also, some Americans are going to be receiving potentially a new $1,300 check, a kind of anti-inflationary check. That's kind of the new stimulus checks being issued out now are anti-inflationary checks, and we're going to be talking about how more of these might be coming out here to a lot more people. So let's jump right in. Ukraine and Russia have agreed to a temporary local ceasefire for aid and evacuees. This is during their second round of peace talks during Russia's invasion. Ukrainian presidential advisor announced in a tweet that the two sides agreed to the, quote, organization of humanitarian coordinators in their second round of discussions. But this is not for everywhere, apparently. It will be possible to cease fire for the duration of the evacuation. Moscow and Kyiv also reached a consensus for delivering medicine and food to the location that are seeing the heaviest fighting. Unfortunately, though, the results Ukraine needs are not yet achieved. The first round of talks, which took place on Monday between Russia and Ukraine, did not really yield any results. And here's what the Ukrainian president had to say here for the second round.
Справедливі переговори можуть бути тоді.
There can be fair negotiations if one side does not hit the other side with rocket artillery at the time of negotiations. So far, we do not have the result we would like to get. Russia has stated its position, and we have declared counterpoints to end the war. We received some signals. When the delegation returns to Kyiv, we will analyze what we have heard, and then we will decide how to proceed to the second round of talks.
The problem I fear with these peace talks, just when it comes to Putin, yesterday, I believe it was, Russia's foreign ministry says that Russia will continue with the war until the end. So, yeah, I don't think Russia's going to be ending the war until they either win or they have no other choice. So that's the problem here. I mean, I don't think Putin is going to come out of this a loser unless he literally has no other choice. So, yeah, I don't think he is planning to lose this. So they're going to have to make this very, very difficult on him with sanctions or other measures. Meanwhile, there is an increased effort, a bipartisan effort between Republicans and Democrats calling to end Russian oil imports. Now, this would cut off the money supply to Russia. Now, it would have to be an effort not just from the U.S., but from the EU and NATO countries, everybody. If they do this, this would end Russia. This would just financially destroy them. But it would also raise the cost of gas for us. So it's a double-edged sword. But it would just destroy Putin. On Tuesday, a group of 9 Republicans put forward legislation seeking to ban imports of Russian oil, as did the Green New Deal champion, Senator Ed Markey, a Democrat from Massachusetts. So Republicans and Democrats are actually seeking to ban Russian oil. This hasn't passed yet, but there's a growing number of support for this. Both Republicans and Democrats were in agreement that the U.S. should stop bringing in Russian oil, but Republicans are pushing for increased U.S. drilling, while marquee Democrats are switching to advocating to switch to clean energy. Both the Markey bill and a separate Republican version led by Republican Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas would make it illegal to import oil from Russia. Quote, first and foremost, President Biden needs to restart America's energy production and quit financing Russian President Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine by continuing to purchase oil from Russia. Now, in all fairness, we've been purchasing oil from Russia for decades. It's not like Biden increased this. In fact, we all kind of know that former President Donald Trump he actually openly admits that he's good friends, or friends at least, with Putin, and that whole scenario there, right? So I'm not picking sides or anything here, but if we do cut off oil from Russia, then we'll likely, almost certainly, see the price of gas go up here in the U.S. and worldwide. I mean, just yesterday, you can see here, just yesterday, the price of oil soared over $113 per barrel as the Ukraine conflict continues. Now, we haven't stopped buying oil from Russia yet, but just the conflict alone, just the speculation of this whole controversy has sent the price of oil rising. So just imagine if we actually stopped buying oil from Russia. Now, I kind of think that we should do this. We should stop buying oil from Russia. But imagine if we did, how high the price of oil would go. So that's the problem here, is it's a double-edged sword. And if we do this, it's going to make gas rise. So we can drill more here in the U.S. We can export some of our oil less. Remember, about 38% of our oil is sold to other countries, even though we import about 8% of our oil from Russia. So it's not that much. It's 8%, whether you consider that a lot or a little. I mean, it's all in perspective, right? So about 8% of our oil comes in from Russia, but we sell 38% of our oil from the U.S. to other countries. The U.S. is actually the #1 producer of oil and gasoline. Russia, the massive country of Russia, remember, they're not as developed as us. They're actually the #2 producer, even though they're so expansive, okay? The U.S. is actually the #1 producer, but we sell 38% of our oil, okay? And it's been like we've been selling that much of our oil for quite a while. It hasn't dramatically changed in the last year from Biden or anything like that, okay? So we could sell less of our oil, but a lot of this is not just in Biden's control per se. It's done by the gas companies. Now they can kind of mandate this a little bit by Congress if they want to actually mandate that, but that would have to be an order done potentially by Congress. The price of oil did come down a little bit today, a little bit. You can see the price of regular WTI crude is down to 108, and the price of Brent crude is 111. So it came down a little bit from 113. You can see this headline here, breaking news, UN nuclear watchdog, Iran sharply increased its stockpile of enriched uranium here. So, yeah, it's always something, right? But yeah, this is the problem here with the price of oil and the price of gas. You know, it's a double-edged sword. And honestly, I remember seeing this headline here about a week or so ago that oil could soar to $125 a barrel on this supply shock, and with it hitting 113 a barrel just last night. 125 a barrel seems like almost nothing now. It seems like it could go way higher than that if we stop buying oil from Russia. But it almost seems like that's the right thing to do now at this point, if Russia doesn't pull out of Ukraine, which I personally don't think they're going to do unless we force them to, which we may need to do by stop buying their oil and the whole world stops doing that. And just to remind everybody how close Russia is to the United States, here's a map of Russia and Alaska and the western part of the United States and Canada. Alaska and Russia basically touch each other. Just to give an idea here for those that maybe don't think about this very often, because even I don't think about this very often. Russia's basically our neighbor up north, per se. So they're right there. And this affects us, and they basically touch Alaska. And meanwhile, because of this energy crisis and this inflation crisis, we're starting to see more and more states and potentially even the federal government sending out anti-inflation checks. If you just watched my video earlier, the state of Maine is considering sending out $750 checks that they call anti-inflationary checks, okay? And we're starting to see more and more states step up to do this, and the next stimulus check from the federal government may even be called this as well. This is catching on rapidly here. In fact, that exact state I just showed you, Alaska, is considering this as well. You can see here, rebate win. Some Americans may be eligible for a $1,300 boost to help with energy costs. Again, the cost of energy and gas and all this is just getting out of control. See if your state is giving out cash. Some residents could see a $1,300 check in their future if state lawmakers can propose a new energy rebate bill. And we've had other states do bills like this and other similar ideas like this. This is the most recent one here from yesterday. The Alaska House of Representatives is expected to propose a one-time $1,300 energy rebate to all residents as oil prices skyrocket. So, yeah, this is just the most recent here. We have a lot of states also considering pausing their state taxes on gas or reducing their state taxes on gas. We're seeing a lot of states do what they call a one-time $1,300 energy rebate. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. Energy rebate sounds like it's going to just be a check. Energy rebate sounds like a check. The operating budget is set to be unveiled to the House Finance Committee on Thursday, which is today. According to Representative Bryce Edmond, the $900 million, that's almost $1 billion in funding for the rebate, will come from the state's general fund. The fund is expected to get a major boost from because oil prices are going over $100 a barrel. The part of the reason for the proposed payments is due to the economic cost of the pandemic. Again, more states giving back to their people. And again, anti-inflationary checks because of the pandemic, because of prices of oil going over $100 a barrel. Again, all the things we talk about here on our channel. Edgman said the cost for fuel could double for rural Alaskans before the end of 2022, which is another justification for the payment. Then Governor Sarah Palin successfully proposed $1,200 energy rebates to help residents with rising fuel costs back in 2008. Yeah, I mean, this is significant. $1,200, $1,300 checks. Those are that's basically an entire stimulus check for entire states. Yeah, and if you've been watching my show, literally on a daily basis, we have entire states announcing stimulus checks that they want to pass or they are passing here, like I said, almost on a daily basis. So I will keep you up to date here on all these things on the state level, on the federal level, mortgage assistance, rent assistance, utility assistance, the child tax credits, raises for Social Security for low income, everything that has to do with putting money in your pockets, as well as daily news. I'll cover it all here on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in at those times so you don't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get reminders when we go live with new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next, or you can click here to see how there could be a $4,200 child tax credit payment coming out here soon with a lot of support. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.